So we got some people that work in corporate that are trying to make that adjustment. So that's what I want to talk to you about, is making that leap, learning how to swim. And you'll see a correlation that I draw with that and learning how to swim. I was a mechanical engineer, graduated from the Ohio State University. You got to say that. Who in here graduated from Ohio State or went to Ohio State? I heard OH. Nobody? All right. Well, I spent 15 years at Westinghouse. I've been in my business now. Panthro Fitness is the name of my business, for 4 years. Part of that time was overlapping with my time with Westinghouse. So I had a significant income, as Sean was saying. I was making 6 figures. So I was pretty comfortable, but there was something else. I wasn't fulfilled. It was just making money. Engineering was cool, but I wasn't helping anyone. I felt like I could be replaced at any moment. I didn't feel special. I didn't feel like I was making a difference. And that's kind of what everybody here kind of gets into the fitness business to do, is make a difference and help people. So I found NPE about 3 years ago. I just needed to know some marketing tools. I was looking to take my vision to a next level. But I also knew, I can't just do it off of a couple clients. Like I said, I have bills. I've got a significant income to replace. It's something that I always knew what I wanted to do, but again, I was comfortable. It's hard to be hungry when your stomach is full, So it was like, I'm this dude right here. I'm sitting on the dock. I kind of got my feet in the water, but I'm watching my ship, which is my potential, my dream, just drift by. So it's like, if I don't make a decision here soon, I'm a firm believer that there's seasons for things that you want to do. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but it's going to be a lot tougher. So I'm sitting there, and the opportunity is now, and I'm comfortable. Like, how do I just take that plunge? It's like, yeah, I don't want you to get the impression that, no, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do with respect to my business, because I was training, I was working hard, I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning, doing the split shifts and still going to work, putting in an 8-hour day. Sometimes I would go at lunchtime, do a consult or train someone, go back to work, and then instead of going home, go back, train more people, 6 o'clock, probably to 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock. Weekends was doing marketing or whatever I could slap together and call a marketing plan. So I was hustling, I was doing all the things, but after 3 years of that, you kind of get tired. So yeah, I'm kind of being comfortable here. And this is kind of like, well, what's wrong with comfortable? Comfortable, to me, is the worst place to be if that's not where you're trying to be. So, if I'm not trying to be comfortable right here, then I shouldn't be comfortable, because it's not going to drive me to do anything else. It's not going to drive me to get better. So that's where I was at. It's like, man, it was just a dilemma. I was just constantly stressing over that, constantly with that push-pull. I'm at a crossroads now. Like I said, I'm working crazy hours, and my performance at work wasn't great. But as some of you know, in corporate, at first it was. I was doing a great job. And once you kind of get on the path and they kind of have a vision for you, kind of doesn't matter what your performance does. All of a sudden, you kind of are this guy that they want to move in this direction. So they were kind of moving me in a certain direction. Now, my business was struggling, man. I really didn't have any control over it. I wasn't being a leader. It was kind of running me. It was running itself. Luckily, I had a pretty good lead coach that was doing a lot of things that were the right things, that were kind of keeping clients around. But I wasn't building. I wasn't really doing anything on my own. I wasn't really applying any of the NPE tools. I was tired. I wasn't watching my numbers. I wasn't taking responsibility for my business. I was blaming everything on my job. Well, if I didn't have this job, I'd be killing it. If I didn't have this, I'd be doing this. Well, don't be in business then. That's basically what that came out down to, is, well, you need to make a decision. Which pill are you going to choose? The red pill or the blue pill? And it was like, all right, you choose the blue pill, you wake up the next day and you forget your dream. You say, it probably wasn't gonna work anyway. It's cool. I mean, I know what I get with this job. I can probably climb the corporate ladder. I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing this and that. So you can kind of write that ending however you want in your imagination. But you take that red pill, and now you get to make your future. You get to determine how exactly it's going to go. And I wish I could say I jumped all over that red pill, but I didn't. I kind of tried to smash them together and try to have both. And that's where my Morpheus came in. That was Camellia. She was one of the coaches. I don't know, maybe a lot of you guys don't know her, but I'm telling her about this opportunity that I had. One of the VPs, they kind of approached me and was like, hey, we want to kind of groom you, and I want you to kind of get into more strategic thinking in the business. So I'm thinking, oh, okay. After being in the company for 15 years, that was my initial vision to kind of do that. I was like, man, this kind of sounds interesting. So I'm talking to Camellia about it, and she wasn't really saying anything. And then she kind of just said, Reggie. Sooner or later, you're going to have to make a decision. You can't keep doing both. It was real, it was real talk. So what happened, I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to take that position. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to take like a little dead-end position that I'm not really going to go anywhere, but it'll allow me to still kind of keep both things. And because once you start moving up in a company, your time is not your time anymore. That's their time. Okay, so you're not going to get to do anything extra. You might get called off on your vacation to come back in and work. So recognizing that, it was like, well, I don't want to do that. So I called it Operation Lay Low. So I was like, oh, let's just take this little job and be in the corner. But there's no laying low when you say no to a VP. You're on the radar. There's questions now like, well, why wouldn't he take this? They knew I had a business, so it was like, well, go ahead and pursue that then. So I got pushed out, March 2nd, 2012. So I thought, all right, well, I wasn't nervous. It was kind of a weird feeling. I never looked back. I mean, I remember driving out of the parking lot. I never even looked back at the building. But it's because I had a false sense that I was all right, that I knew how to run this business. The reality was I can't swim. I was sitting on the dock. I was dipping my toes in the water. I had been doing that long enough that I had convinced myself that I can do it. And I was about to drown. I needed somebody to save me. I didn't know the numbers. I was flailing around. I'm trying to replace 6 figures worth of income. So I'm grabbing at anything. I'm not paying attention to my business. I'm grabbing at it. If you shoved anything in my face, I was going to try to grab at it because I was drowned. I was looking for that. I was looking for my dock. I was looking for that safety. I was looking for my security again. Instead of working on the things in my business, my core business that was going to make me successful, I'm just looking for whatever. When you're struggling and you're swinging, you don't really see anything. So I had no vision. And no vision means no leadership. So my employees, they were acting the same way. They're just as confused as I was. They're trying to follow me, and I'm like, let's go here. No, let's go. No, let's do this. So after a while, they just kind of stood still and was like, I don't know what this dude is doing. Let's just kind of make our own way. And you do that long enough, and you struggle long enough, you get fatigued, and you just start to sink. And that's kind of where I was. My man Alan, we had been talking through this whole process. I wasn't giving him anything solid. He's like, oh, how's everything going? Oh, yeah, it's going great. I'm telling him all these things I'm doing, and I'm not going anywhere. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, I get the feeling that you're not doing as good as you say you are. I want to see some numbers on our next call. I was like, okay, numbers. It shouldn't be too hard to get, right? Wrong. I was in denial. I was in so deep that I really believed that I knew how to swim, but in reality, I had never even had my head under the water. I hadn't implemented anything. You know, I've been in this, it's embarrassing. I've been in this game, with NPE for 3 years and didn't know how to execute. I had learned all the tools, I had all the stuff, I was on all the webinars, well, most of them when I wasn't at work, you know, but I wasn't executing. So that's why I couldn't swim. You know, so this is what the numbers do. And this is why the numbers are so important. First of all, they make you start from scratch if you're not there. I had to start all over. I had to get organized. I had to because there's things that you have to do in order to even get those numbers. You know, he wanted me to put stuff in Profit Analyzer. I was like, all right, let me look over at Profit Analyzer. I was like, I don't even know how to get most of this stuff. I can't even get my hands on it. So in order for me to even get my hands on the things that I needed, I had to go and start from scratch. I had to go back through all these courses because it had been so long since I had looked at them and understand what the heck I was doing and then start to implement. Again, now I start to get some focus. Now I got my numbers together. Now I can see where the heck I'm going, what's driving my business. So now I can give some leadership. Now I can give my guys some guidance. Now this is what you need to be doing. Own that. You know, now they have something that they can do and make them leaders. You know, give them that vision because I didn't have it. What we're able to do, measure, track, adjust, and improve. It's just a process. It's a do loop. That's what you do with your clients, and that's what I've been doing in my business. This is what I call my visual management board. This is in my office, with all my employees, everybody. Every week, every day, we actually look at this. But every week, this gets updated, and we go over it, and it's really for accountability, and it's really to understand where we are, what we're doing, and where we are based on our target, okay? And accountability-wise, I have action items. So it's not to beat people up in the meeting, it's, are you gonna meet that date? If not, what can we do to help you get there? All right, so everything is focused and we execute. That's the biggest thing. You know, I would kind of throw things out there, but there would be no execution because they were following their leader, and their leader wasn't executing. You know, so now I'm accountable. I have everything up there. It's very transparent. Everybody sees what everybody's doing. I'm not there yet. All right, it's a process, but I'm getting there. I'm learning how to swim, finally. So I'm not reaching out for things and looking for stability in things that may or may not get me there. My core business was designed to take me where I need to be. So that's why I'm starting to implement these tools, implement all these things that you guys are getting in here. You know, it's a lot of stuff. And now you can't do it all at one time. But piece by piece, get it done. I mean, it's so critical, especially if you're working a job and you feel like you don't have time. If you don't find time, you will not be able to get out that job successfully and make a smooth transition. So that's all. Hope I was helpful.
You can keep up with NPE TV through Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube so that you can stay connected wherever your travels may take you.